All right, let's do deep cuts.
Deep cuts.
Okay. Name a song, album, or artist that changed your life.
Public Enemy, Nation of Millions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean,
there was nothing that sounded.
Nothing.
I go back to it now, and I think like, what people must have thought this was the most abrasive.
Yes.
Like, if I was like working at a label and somebody played me Public Enemy at the time, I would have been like, "There's everything going on here sounds like a reason that it won't work."
Yeah.
Like you've got super political lyrics. You've got this like alarm sound, repetition, noise in the music.
Yeah.
The music is just like chaos. It's got like metal references. They're vocally anti-mainstream. And then you got Flavor Flav like making a joke out of everything. Like, how's that? Doesn't that diffuse all the seriousness of Chuck D's like political? He's like telling you all these important things, and the other guy's making jokes about like, I don't know what.
And that's how it somehow became, it was perfect.
I loved everything about it.
It was so good.
I saw them live at the time and I was like, this is like greatest. Yeah, it was like such a formative experience.
So good. What was your first concert?
Anthrax and Public Enemy with Primus and young black teenagers.
Okay, that wins. Yeah. That's your first concert. That's amazing.
Very first concert.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
With my friend Mark that I started the band with. Yeah.
That's so good. Do you have a t-shirt from this concert? Because that would really be amazing.
I did. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah.
You need to get that back.
I know.
What is a song you wish you wrote?
You know what song is just like, it hits me as like so pitch perfect in terms of it's bigger than itself. Like it's written just right. It's recorded just right. But its place in the world right now is so special is One More Time by Blink.
Oh yeah.
Such an like they summed up this moment in their careers perfectly in a song. And that's hard. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that and I was like, well done, guys. Like you nailed it.
Well, when we were talking about TRL earlier, both of you guys were on it sort of at the same time.
Yeah.
What was your relationship with Blink then?
I just liked them.
Yeah.
I didn't think we actually weren't running in the same circles very much.
Okay.
Because they were because of the punk thing and because of like they leaned so heavy into like making you laugh.
Yeah.
And our aesthetic was much more serious, at least on records, on at the shows and on the albums. So yeah, we didn't, also I have to imagine like we were probably both headlining festivals. So if we played on a Saturday night, they played it on a Friday night and they were gone by the time we got there.
That's interesting. Yeah, you were never together. Yeah. That makes sense.
We met much later on, and I love those guys. I haven't really hung out with Tom very much, but yeah, Travis and Mark, I've hung with a few times, and like Mark is the kind of guy that like he's so humble.
Yeah,
people say that about people, but Mark's humble to a point where I like worry about him. I'm like, why are you so self-deprecating? And like, he literally doesn't believe, it's beyond like imposter syndrome at a certain point where like, he like literally doesn't believe how great he is at certain things. I'm like, you're incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. It's like the Japanese part of me is like feels like that's so familiar.
Yes.
Like that's very culturally, it's very familiar.
Yeah. They're special guys.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
What is something your fans would be surprised to learn about you?
Surprise? I don't think there are any surprises at this point. Are there? I don't know. What did maybe there's something we did this. I tried to make cake pops with one of my kids this week.
I was going to say something with your kids.
I tried to make cake pops this week. And
it was challenging.
Cake pops are way harder than you think. They sucked. I mean, they tasted fine, but they look
the
like...
presentation is difficult to achieve.
Dude.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot more of YouTube research to get a cake pop right. I'll tell you that.
What do you hope your kids learn from you?
We're big on gratitude.
Yeah.
At our house. We're big on letting the kids explore stuff that they're interested in. I mean, my parents were always very cool. I didn't have the parents that were like, you can't do that, or that's not, art isn't a real job type of parents. And I thought that was a really good thing. I'm hoping that I try to maintain some level of that with our kids. But yeah, for anybody who has kids, that they're like, there are things that you struggle with as a parent, or that they struggle with as a person, they don't like come from anywhere. They're just like born with it. Like they're born with a sense of humor. They're also can be born with like a lot of anxiety, or like, I mean, not to mention all the other things that you might have to get medication for. But like, yeah, it's like those things are the struggles that you go through where you especially when you ever heard that thing about, I'm going to say it poorly, but you get faced with the same problem until you learn how to solve it.
Yes.
Yeah. So like stuff that you're not good at, or that you struggled with as a kid, or that like is like, I don't know, you've got issues with the way you were raised, and it was a problem then, and you haven't figured it out, and now it's showing up with the kids. Like all that stuff that's probably the biggest challenge to me.
Yeah.
Being a parent is being faced with those things. And you got to we just realized, Anna and I have just realized, like, we're definitely not perfect. We're definitely doing our best.
That's all you can do.
You can, that's the job.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And gratitude is key. I'm glad to hear that. We're the same in our
every
house
single day.
Every day. That's the key to happiness.
That's the question. We do that before bedtime every night.
Oh,
that's the question every night is, what are you grateful for
that's beautiful.
today? And on crappy days, it's a hard one to answer.
Yes, of course. That's something we should all ask ourselves.
Oh my God.
For our own sanity.
For a little kid to tell you why they're grateful when they're like, they and their friends are all in a huge fight.
Aww.
They're just like, nothing. I'm not grateful for anything. This sucks. You're just like, I hear that and I respect it.
Yeah.
And I would like you to try anyway.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. What are words you live by?
There's like a fan meme of me saying this thing that I don't even remember saying, about something about like be kind and work hard and don't be an asshole or something like that. Like, I don't remember what it was. I just said it at one point and it became like in our little fan community, like it's my face with that quote. And I'm kind of glad that's the quote they pulled out. I mean, I don't think my mom would be happy that it's asshole, but yeah. The kind part, actually, to focus in on one piece of it, the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that being kind, everyone just thinks of that as being kind to other people, but you got to be kind to yourself too. Like, it's hard. Like a lot of us beat ourselves up over dumb stuff, and identifying when you're doing that and easing back as an act of kindness to yourself is like a hard thing to do, but it's a good thing to do.
It's essential.
Yeah, I think
when you're kind to yourself, you can actually be kinder to others. I
just saw a clip of Mr. Rogers saying that. Did
really?
You know? I literally just saw it. Yeah, he said this whole thing about like, I know you want to be kind to other people. That's what you want. But in order to get there, sometimes you have to deal with being kind to yourself first, or else you won't have anything left over to be kind to the other people. So if you're the type of person, like, it was always neat because the way he did it with like the strategic way that he structured it was almost like, well, I know you want to be kind to them. So as a function of like doing that, be kind to yourself.
Well, I always wanted to be Mr. Rogers, so I guess it works out.
I feel like he was a genius. Total genius.
Trailblazer.
Yeah.
Beautiful human being.
Yeah, for sure.
Mike, thank you. This was really a treat.
We're going to end on Mr. Rogers.
We're going to end on Mr. Rogers.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's what we do here. It's love and rock and roll. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Good.